Good morning, everybody, and welcome to class. I hope you all had a wonderful summer full of doing nothing, being afraid, and wearing your masks even when you're outdoors in the fresh air by yourself. Okay. My name is Dr. Grouchy, and I work for the BSCDC, and I'm also on staff here at Useful Idiot University. I'm going to be your professor here for Tyranny 101, and this class will be discussing the various ways in which governments are not tyrannical and how they aren't and bad with large corporations. Now, before we really get into anything, I really just want to emphasize for everybody, okay, that the government keeping us in a constant state of fear is a good thing. Okay? So, stress, fear, anxiety, and anger, they're all really, really beneficial for our immune systems, our emotional and mental well-being, etc., etc. Okay, so, yeah. Okay, so, now let's take a look at some historical examples of how fear was used to lead the population, all right? So, dating back, a century ago, we had the Nazi Party, aka the National Socialist German Workers' Party, that convinced the population to be afraid of the Jews taking over, okay? And so they just led millions and millions of people into gas chambers. Yay! In a similar vein, the Soviets convinced the population to rat each other out. Okay, for disobeying the Soviet Union, the communist regime, all right? And so they used fear to control people and to get them divided and turned against each other. It was great. And then also in American history, there was slavery, where they convinced the population, majority of the population, that Black people were savages, okay? And they convinced white women especially to be afraid of them because every Black man was a rapist. All right, so fear is really a crucial aspect to lots of things, horrible events in history. Actually, there was the AIDS crisis, all right, in which people were afraid to even be around in the vicinity of a gay person in fear that they might, contract AIDS. They might be exposed to AIDS. All right, but hold on. Now, before we get a little pessimistic here, let's just fast forward to 2021 because thank God we have learned from the horrific tragedies of human history. We've moved on. For example, there's no way that the government is using COVID to divide and control and manipulate the population. Duh, no. Why would they do that? That's so silly. Why would you ever think that? Come on, that's ridiculous conspiracy theory nonsense. They're just trying to bring us all together by constantly fighting with each other over vaccines, masks, and mandates. Of course, that's a great way to lead the country. The government is definitely not using COVID to scare everybody in a similar way that the AIDS crisis scared people. No way. The government is definitely not using COVID to strengthen monopolies and weaken small businesses. No, it's just a happy accident. All right? We should be thankful. Seriously. For real, we have to increase the gap between the 1% and the 99% in order to beat this virus, okay? The government definitely does not want us to have less social interaction and to strip us of any meaningful connection. No. Remember, being in a state of constant fear and isolation is a good thing. That's why they created solitary confinement for prisoners. Duh! Thank you, government. Thank you, Uncle Sam. Okay, so like the government definitely does not want us to rely on the IRS for stimulus checks so that we're dependent on them years down the road. No, they want us to be independent and strong because we don't need no man, but we do need daddy government. This is the craziest thing I've ever heard. The government is definitely not making any money on these pharmaceutical companies or big pharma pumping out vaccines. Come on. No way. That's like insane. Okay, so I don't want to overwhelm you. So that's all we'll get into for today. For the next class, I would like you to go home and write down 10 ways that we haven't discussed today and which the government is not tyrannical. Okay? Thanks for coming to class. I'll see you next week on Tyranny Tuesday.